All right, guys, before we jump into the questions from our awesome Facebook group, guys, if you want your question on the Nerd Cave podcast, go over to facebook.com/nerdcave or just search Nerd Cave in the box of searching, okay? Then every week we put up, what's your topics? What do you want us to talk about and everything? We get awesome comments and awesome questions, and some of them turn out to be really, really long. You know who you are. I don't even have to say your name. But, guys, if you want to get this podcast early, you can go check out patreon.com/nerdcave and get this episode and all of our episodes early just by simply supporting us. Thank you to all of our awesome Patreon supporters for supporting us, getting our bonus episodes and getting our episodes early. Without your help, we wouldn't be able to keep the lights on. And a special shout out for our top Patreon supporter, Nick Caputo. Man, thank you. I appreciate all that you do for us and all that you've helped out with us in the past and what you're going to be doing for us in the future and everything. And thanks to everybody on Patreon for supporting us. And thank you for all the people that are listening or watching this episode on Facebook or wherever, or YouTube. We don't put it on Facebook. So there you go. All right, into the questions we go. Derek Diamond asks, what flavor of ice cream does Zach taste like? I can't answer that question on this episode. Maybe on Nerd Cave After Dark. Derek Daniel asks, the rumor that Vin Diesel / The Rock feud might only be an act so they can have a WrestleMania match. I know earlier in the week we saw that it might be a thing that Rock versus Vin Diesel at WrestleMania might happen. I think it would be interesting, but we've seen in the past that actors brought in for WrestleMania or something like that. We've even seen freaking Donald Trump fight in some matches, which is totally ridiculous. They usually don't go really well. They're usually kind of bad, and I'm hoping if this happens that it will be good. I could totally see this being a thing, though, that they're trying to make this a real thing. You can even look at how the end of SummerSlam happened, the Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton thing. They're trying to go more of a reality TV way with WWE now, with all the brand splits and everything. But you can see that with SummerSlam. They're trying to go reality TV with wrestling, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it belongs in its own little subgenre and everything. But if this does happen, it'll still be pretty interesting to see. I'm going to go ahead and say The Rock wins, but as you know, majority of the time these things go, the actor will win, so Vin Diesel will more likely win this match if it does happen. Derek also asks, thoughts on the Legion of Doom being the big bad for Season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow, being made up of Captain Cold, Malcolm Merlin, Damien Dark, Reverse Flash, and is it also wrong for me to be excited for the villains this time around on Legends? I think it's awesome that they're bringing the Legion of Doom into the CW version of the DC universe. Legion of Doom was always one of my favorite things in the Super Friends cartoons. So I'm glad that it's happening. I hope they have like a lair in the swamp and it pops up. Oh, meanwhile in the Legion of Doom. I just want one episode. Please do that. Please do that. And it's an awesome cast of big bads. Reverse Flash is one of my favorite bad guys, and he's one of my favorite villains, and Malcolm Merlin is always a good villain. Being a good guy, he's not that good at that, so being a bad guy is going to be really, really good. And of course, Captain Cold, he can do no wrong. Adam Gumber asks, most interesting FPS this fall, and why? Now, before I answer that, I put a poll up on our awesome Facebook group asking what FPS, first-person shooter, if you don't know, are you looking forward to the most this fall? And the options were Battlefield 1, Destiny Rise of Iron, BioShock Collector's Edition, Call of Duty, or Titanfall 2. Battlefield 1 beat out everything else. And next is Destiny Rise of Iron, and then BioShock Special Edition. Call of Duty and Titanfall didn't even get any votes. Now, out of the new things that are coming out, Battlefield 1, hands down. It looks absolutely amazing. And I'm not a Battlefield fan just because it is not as good of game mechanics or gameplay as Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a masterclass of shooting. It is so much better in the shooting mechanics and the melee mechanics than Battlefield. Now, that being said, Call of Duty's the new game, I think it might be Infinite. I'm not 100% sure, just because it does not interest me in one bit. It looks boring. It looks like they're just pumping crap out at this point. Call of Duty used to be such a good franchise, and it just seems like they're just regurgitating an idea over and over and over again. But Battlefield 1, on the other hand, they've went all to the future and all of that good stuff, and modern warfare and this, that, and the other, and they're like, you know what? We're going to bring it back. We're going to bring it back, and we're going to put it in World War I. And when I heard that the first time, I'm like, I don't know how that's going to go, but oh my God, it looks freaking amazing. The gameplay looks great, seeing it from E3. All these massive battles. I've never been a Battlefield player, like multiplayer and everything, but I think it would be awesome to be able to, use trench warfare, use gas, have to put gas mask on, beat somebody's head in with a shovel. Like, that is going to be such a good game. Destiny Rise of Iron, I don't personally care anything about, because I'm done with Destiny. I have no reason to go back and play, and that's just me personally. Same thing with Tom Clancy's The Division. I'm just not in that headspace. I don't have the time to dedicate to the loot grind that is those games. Now, BioShock Collector's Edition, already talked about that earlier in the episode, but it's going to be an awesome game. I'm definitely going to take time, and I'm going to play all through those 3 games, and it's going to be definitely worth it. Titanfall 2, the more I read about it, the better it sounded, but the more I read about it, it also sounded bad. They've got rid of a lot of things that made Titanfall what Titanfall is or was. Hopefully these betas have fixed it, because they're actually listening, thankfully. But they tried to be more Call of Duty when that's not what they were. Their combat was really fast-paced. Their motion was really fast-paced. Everybody being able to get a Titan. That's the whole freaking point of the game, is Titans falling down and you getting to be in a mech. Instead of, tying that to someone's progression or how well they do, it's kind of dumb. I understand, you get all these Titans running around, or, and they got rid of a lot of creeps. Creeps aren't going to be in but a few maps. It's the creeps helped with people that weren't that good. It was a way to have somebody join in and be able to kill the creeps and make their gameplay fun. Enjoy that game. When you play Call of Duty, if you're not good at Call of Duty, you get your butt handed to you, and that's not fun at all. So I think if they keep listening to the feedback that they're getting, they'll fix it. But there's no reason to try to be another Call of Duty, because Call of Duty does a great job with their gameplay. I just wish they would make better stories. So, most interesting FPS from our Facebook group is Battlefield 1, and I would agree with that 100%. But most interesting shooter, not just first person, Gears of War 4 has me so freaking excited. So I cannot wait for that to come out. Next question also comes from Adam Gumbert. Best franchise games or otherwise to make into a trading card game. Let's see. I think Uncharted would be a pretty interesting one, simply because you've got so many good iconic heroes and villains in that, and the different powers or different each game also has like this kind of mythological or spiritual power that, is making a big impact in like the third act. So I think that would be a really interesting card game. Mad Max would be another one from all the different factions that are in that. Halo would be a good one as well, because you have the UNSC, you have the Covenant, you have when the Covenant breaks, you have the elites, the grunts, and all of that. So that would be a really interesting one as well. But to me personally, trading card games aren't that big anymore, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal anymore to me. I know trading card games used to be really, really big when I was growing up. Next, Derek Daniel says, in an interview for Arrow, they said the flashbacks to Oliver's time away from Star City will end after Season 5, but they did go on to say that from Season 6 on, they will do flashbacks, but only for the episodes that make sense, with different characters such as Diggle or maybe Felicity. They also talked about doing more flash forwards like they did last season. My question is, do you guys like this element about the show, or would you want them to just take a break from it? Haven't watched the last season of Arrow, so I can't tell you what I feel about those. But I think the flashbacks are such a big element that's been from the very first episode that it is something that needs to stay. I can understand that they don't want to do as many, but you could tell some stories that are intermingled in there. I know they're kind of filling in that timeline that Oliver was gone, but you could do the flash forwards or something to make it more interesting and keep those elements in there, because if you don't, then you're going to be putting more info or filler into each episode if you don't have those flashbacks, because that was a way to get those into there. So it'll be very interesting to see what they do with that. And then last one from Derek Daniel. They announced that Flash Season 3, that Gorilla Grodd would return this season, but that Barry and crew will have to go to the dimension they sent to him last season, which now has become Gorilla City, which is awesome, by the way. Just your initial thoughts on that, and do you think that some point before the Flash series ends, should Grodd be a main villain for a season? Yeah, I think he would be a great main villain, controlling people with his mind. I think they develop this character more and more, and especially with him being over Gorilla City and everything, I think this would be an awesome opportunity to build that character even more and then get him to be the main villain for one season. So I think it would be really cool to happen. So there's all the questions for this week's episode, guys. I hope you've enjoyed me talking about all these different subjects and by myself. Hopefully next week we'll have at least 2, maybe 3 of us on this show. But thanks for watching and listening. If you want the episode early, of course, go check it out over at nerdcave.com, patreon.com/nerdcave, and get it there early, and also get our bonus episodes. All of the tiers stack on each other, so if you support us at one of the higher tiers, you get everything else below that. And guys, your support is very important to us, if it be it monetary or be you're sharing our links when we're sharing stuff, or you say, hey, I know this really cool podcast that you would like, or hey man, you like video games, you need to check out this Let's Play of this game that you would be really interested in. That kind of support goes a long way, because it helps us grow, and we want to be growing, and we want to be more interactive. So, if you're listening to this and you haven't been a part of our Facebook group, go over to facebook.com/nerdcave, or look up Nerd Cave on Facebook and check it out there, guys, because we want to be very interactive. We want to have more and more discussions and do more polls like we've been doing. So check that out. And guys, if you can't throw us $1 or more on our Patreon, you can check out every day we put up a segment, Monday through Thursday, and then on Friday we put the whole thing up for your viewing pleasure, and it also comes out on all the podcast services. So guys, share it, like it, rate us on iTunes. That'll be the greatest thing ever, is getting all that love. Just shower us with love and affection. That's what we need. That's what we need in life. So guys, Thanks for watching. This has been Zach for episode 173 of the Nerd Cave Podcast. And have a week.